Today on Judge Faith, blood is thicker than water, or is it?
I have 3 boys.
I am the oldest.
I'm not understanding any of this at all, that my son's not even wanting to pay me back.
She's trying to extort me for money.
Yeah, he has borrowed money from me numerous times. I spent over $10,000 on his wedding.
She took all the food and alcohol and said, go up to Gibson Ranch and we're gonna have it up there. I can't make all my family and guests leave because on her account because that's what she wants and that's what she expected.
Tell me the conversation, how much she gave you, what were the circumstances?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Marilyn Beaver loaned her son $7,500 so that he could buy a motorcycle. He has not paid her a dime. She is suing for the unpaid loan. She is accompanied in court today by her best friend, Patricia Coniglio. Defendant Jason Colombo says the money was a gift from his mother, and he is countersuing for a wrecked Harley, stolen alcohol and food, a keyed car, and harassment.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, in this case, we have Beaver versus Colombo.
Thank you, Barbara. Marilyn Beaver.
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Jason Colombo.
Yes.
For $7,500 for a loan you say he failed to repay you?
Correct.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $7,500 for a wrecked Harley motorcycle, stolen alcohol and food, a keyed car, and harassment?
Yes, I am.
Why don't we start with you, Ms. Beaver? Give me some background. Tell me what's going on here.
Okay, at the end of June, I received a workman comp settlement for, I was injured on the job where I worked at. Anyways, I received $57,000 at the end of June. At the beginning of July, my son Jason came over and asked me if I would please loan him $7,500. He wanted to buy a motorcycle. I said, okay, fine, as long as you're gonna be paying me right back, Jason, because I really need this money. One Friday evening, he had called me up that afternoon and said, Mom, I've got this motorcycle that I think I want. We both looked at the motorcycle that he was wanting to buy at that time. I ended up giving him the $2,500 that evening and we told the gentleman that I couldn't get the other $5,000 to him until Monday. So they said fine, they would hold the bike for him and everything, and I went and we both departed and went back home. Okay,
Did you get any of this in writing, ma'am?
No, that was my son. I didn't think I needed to have a promissory note.
He's saying that you didn't give him $7,500, and then he's saying the money that you did give him was a gift.
No, it wasn't. It never was a gift from the start.
Let's back up for a second. How many children do you have?
I have 3 boys. 3.
Are you the oldest, or where do you fall in line?
I am the oldest.
Okay.
They're 5 years apart.
What's been your relationship with your son prior to this case?
It has been, it's not a distant relationship, but then it is a distant relationship. I'm not understanding any of this at all, that my son's not even wanting to pay me back, because I don't push the issue. He has borrowed money from me numerous times.
What do you say about what she said, about her raising you and giving you everything? She gave you too much.
She was never around. I have a rap sheet right here if you'd like to take a look at that and see. She never raised us. My grandparents raised us.
How old are you?
I'm 34 years old.
What do you mean she was never around?
Would you like to take a look at her rap sheet?
Are you saying she was in prison? Mm-hmm. May I see the rap sheet?
I was in prison from 97 to 99. I had a gun in my home.
Why don't you take a look at that?
And I was on probation. And that's irrelevant, really. I mean, for a year and a half that I was in prison, I mean, I'm no longer that way.
Ma'am, you have a conviction from this year.
No, that's...
I really don't think any child should have to be around that. That's why she is doing this, because I have a child of my own, and I will not let her be around this, because I am not going to put my child in the danger that I have been in all my life.
Okay. That conviction's not mine. It's my sister used my name, and so her name's on my rap sheet.
Ma'am, what's going on? I'm looking at a very lengthy rap sheet dating back to the mid-90s. You have at least 5 felony convictions.
correct. I was kind of a violent person, but I mean, yes.
And what's really going on here?
I can tell you what's going on. She's trying to extort me for money, and I am not intimidated, and I will not be. That's what she does. You can ask anybody.
Your Honor,
Anyone in my family.
you...
My family is afraid to step forward because they will not go against her because she will slash tires, key cars, or do whatever.
That's a lie.
Have you ever been arrested?
I've never been arrested.
Do you have a criminal record?
I do not have a criminal record.
What do you think about what he says when he says you were never around and that they were in danger?
It hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings beyond that he's saying something like that. I give to my son. To all three of them, I won't deny. To all three of them, I give to them.
What's your relationship like with your other two sons?
They're the same. I mean, at Christmas and Thanksgiving, when I have dinner, Jason and his family never shows up. Never. Not once. Not once has my son been to Thanksgiving or Christmas, Mother's Day, Easter. Nothing. Nothing. He don't participate in any family functions.
And why do you
with
think
me.
that is, ma'am?
Because his wife doesn't really care for me that much, I guess, and so therefore they just don't come over. The only time that Jason comes over is when he wants money.
And you're saying the other sons come over?
Yes, they do.
Do you have a drug problem?
No.
You used to?
Oh, I've taken drugs in the past, yes.
No, did you, ma'am?
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
looking at this
yes,
rap
I'm
sheet,
saying
and this
yes.
rap sheet screams to me someone who has been an addict.
Once.
Did your mother have a drug problem? What was the drug of choice?
Methamphetamine.
Is that true? How many years were you on meth?
I was on it probably 8 years. How long have I been off of it? I've been off it since '97.
So you've been sober since 1997?
Yes,
drugs and alcohol?
I drink occasionally. Yes, no, not that much, but occasionally, yes, I do drink.
Coming up on Judge Faith, Jason says his mother threatened to burn his house down.
Your father pressed charges against you?
No, no.
If he had to press charges
No,
against you, she will slash tires, key cars, or do whatever.
That's a lie.
And claim to set houses on fire. I have a voicemail saying it.
Can we hear it?
Did you threaten to burn his house to the ground?
Plaintiff Marilyn Beaver loaned her son $7,500 so that he could buy a motorcycle. He has not paid her a dime. She is suing for the unpaid loan. Defendant Jason Colombo says the money was a gift from his mother. He's countersuing for a wrecked Harley, stolen alcohol and food, a keyed car, and harassment.
You have a voicemail on your phone saying
Yeah,
what?
I'd like to hear it.
Ma'am, stop talking to him.
Okay.
Don't talk to each other. What's on the voicemail?
That if I do not give her money or return a bike by Thursday, I will come home with nothing. My house will be burnt to the ground.
Did you threaten to burn his house to the ground?
No, I didn't.
So you're saying that's not on the that's on the voicemail on your phone.
I have the voicemail.
You're saying you never said that, ma'am.
No, I did not say I would burn his house down, never.
She
No.
said I would come home with nothing.
What did you say in the message?
I couldn't tell you exactly what I said. That was so long. I mean, that was well over a month and a half ago.
Just bring it to me.
Just press. Go ahead and listen. It's going.
This is your other, the one you threw a butt at, you know? I've had it with you. I don't give a about you anymore. And let me tell you something. What happened in that driveway today is just the beginning. If you do not bring me that motorcycle by Thursday, and you better bring it in one piece, buddy, because you know what? You'll have nothing at all left. Do you understand that?
So what do you mean by that? You'll have nothing at all left.
We had agreed at one point that, okay, Jason, because I'm asking Jason, if you can't get the loan, then then maybe we should think about selling the bike, because I told you I really needed
Stop.
the money.
What do you say happened here, sir? I want to hear your side of this money she says she gave you.
This money was a gift. This was
How
to
much?
pay
Tell
back.
me the conversation. How much she gave you? What were the
She
circumstances?
only gave me a few $1,000s from her hand to mine.
$3,000 exactly. Okay.
From her hand to mine. It was a gift.
What was the conversation? Tell me what you said. Tell me what she said.
She was going to give all her kids money to make up for what she had done in the past. She told me she was giving all her kids money to make up for what she had done in the past, basically trying to buy her way back into my life.
What do you have to say, ma'am? I understand you brought a witness with you today.
Yes,
Miss Coniglio, would you stand up, please?
Yes.
How do you know the plaintiff?
Friends, just
Okay.
acquaintances.
Do you
friends,
have any
whatever.
personal knowledge that relates to this loan?
I just was
gift, as
witness to the amount of money that she had given him in the Walmart parking lot.
How much do you say she give him? $2,500.
Yeah.
How long have you been friends with her?
How long have we been friends? 10, 11 years or so.
Okay. How did you meet?
Actually, at one time we were married to the same person. Her son Joey is the same age as my son, and he would come to visit the dad, and that's how we became acquainted.
And is that how the two of you met?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. You're countersuing, sir, for stolen food and alcohol. What is that about?
Correct. We had a wedding at my grandfather's house,
Whose wedding?
mine and my wife's. When we were having the wedding, she had an altercation with
When
my...
was this, sir?
2006.
Oh, 2006. Okay, I
This
just
is
need
a
to know
while
the year.
ago.
So
Yeah,
2006.
This has been a while ago, yeah. This is a long
Okay.
time. She took all the food and alcohol and said, go up to Gibson Ranch and we're going to have it up there. I can't make all my family and guests leave because, on her account because that's what she wants and that's what she expected.
Did you do that, ma'am?
I purchased everything, yes, and Jason agreed to go ahead and go down to Gibson Ranch, so I took the food and alcohol down to Gibson Ranch.
You by
because-
yourself packed up the food and alcohol at his wedding reception
And
and
my
took it
wife.
to another location?
No, not all of it. No, they all helped. We agreed upon moving the wedding reception down to Gibson Ranch because the altercation that happened between my brother, sister, and I. Yes, we agreed that we would take it down to Gibson Ranch.
And what was that
Jason
altercation
helped.
about?
It was my brother and sister.
Because so far I've heard your grandfather has sued you.
No, the grandfather did not sue me. My father did not sue me. No, he didn't.
He had to fight, he had to press charges
No,
against
He
her.
pressed charges against you, ma'am.
Okay, the charges were dismissed.
Your father pressed charges
No.
against you?
No.
Coming up, sparks fly when the truth comes out.
So you threw rocks at her
To tell her to get off my fence.
It wasn't a rock. It was a brick.
because he's saying you're lying and you're not credible.
I'm not
and your
lying.
history is an example of that.
My history of fighting someone and then having a gun
No,
in my
I'm
home.
not saying
Okay,
that.
Thank you very much.
Plaintiff Marilyn Beaver says she loaned her son $7,500 to buy a motorcycle, and now he won't pay. Defendant Jason Colombo is countersuing his mother for a wrecked Harley, stolen alcohol and food, a keyed car, and harassment.
You were arrested because your father made a complaint against you, yes or no?
No, not against me. My father made a complaint against somebody forging his name on a property deed.
So you had no involvement in that?
No, I had none. And it was dismissed. We're here for $7,500, I thought.
This is his counterclaim.
Okay. Well, you haven't even asked me for any of my...
Please let me see those text messages. Barbara, would you hand me the text messages?
When I went over to collect my money, he started throwing rocks at me. Okay? So that is why...
Did you throw rocks at her?
Went like this to tell her to get off my fence.
So you threw
No.
rocks at
Rocks
her?
being thrown.
It wasn't a rock, it was a brick. Picked up a brick. I went and ran over by the van that he was driving at the time,
Not even a
thinking
brick,
that
it was
he
like a piece
wouldn't
of
throw
bark.
it, but he threw it anyways. So my friend starts yelling at me, telling me to get in the car, and it's like, no, I want the motorcycle now, right? But irregardless, ever since that day, I haven't spoke to him again. I have not went back over there. I decided that, yes, maybe I should just take it to court.
All I'm seeing here is $40.
As I stated when we first came in.
Let me
is-
finish.
no, I
$40
felt-
until Friday, $50. I mean, I don't know what that's for. That could be for anything. He could be just
Okay.
giving you
Gas.
$40.
Food for her other grandkids that she was taking care of at the time. Anything. She would just call and say, I need some money because I need some help. It's like, okay, you had $50,000. What
I
happened?
mean, you
to
have
it?
to understand when you
Okay.
come into court, there's a burden of proof. You have
And
to
I
prove to
stated
me.
from the very beginning that, no, I did not make him sign a promissory note
And
because
that's
it's
a
my son
problem.
and I didn't think that I had to.
And
Okay, I
that's
didn't
a
think my
problem.
son would do this to me, okay? I really didn't. And about all my past, I don't understand what any of that has to do with the $7,500 that he borrowed.
Because he's saying you're lying and you're not credible.
I'm not
and your
lying.
history is an example of that. That's what his
My
argument
history
is.
of fighting someone and then having a gun
No,
in my home.
I'm not
Okay,
saying that. I'm
thank you
saying
very
that's
much.
his argument. I mean, honestly, I see what you've been dealing with.
And my wife, she can't come. She doesn't even know I have another baby on the way. That is not to be known to her because I don't want my family around her. I'm not going to have her around. I'm not going to be intimidated, and I'm not going to be extorted. I am.
Let me say something, and I know you're her friend and you're here to support her, but I'm just going to talk about what I've looked at. The years, the number of arrests from the time you were 11, 12 years old through your teenage years, I wouldn't wish that on any child.
That's why I don't let my kids go around. I'm not going to let them endure that.
I wasn't finished hearing evidence in this case, but I think that your mother sensed, or she thought, that it wasn't going to go well for her. And so probably like most other things she's done in her life, she bailed.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
I think you thought coming in here, waving your mother's criminal history and criminal record around, that I would automatically discount everything she said. That's not true. I actually wanted to hear her side of the story, but she finished the case for me. All that aside, here's what I think. There's something about this motorcycle. I think you had a conversation about the motorcycle, but I don't know what the conversation was because she walked out. But she absolutely lied about her testimony when she said that someone else used her ID, and that's how she has a criminal conviction from this year. That's ridiculous. So once she said that, I was absolutely skeptical about everything else she said when she testified. So now I'm just going to focus on you and the issues that I have before me. Most people with the kind of childhood and the kind of upbringing you had, being exposed to what I think you were exposed to, growing up with a mother with this kind of rap sheet, there are two paths that they go down. And a lot of them, because of their environment and because of what they've had to deal with, they go down the same path that their parent went down, that their mother went down.
It's happening with my brother now.
And you chose to go down a different path, sir. Wherever you got that strength from, wherever you learned that from, whatever, you had a choice, and you made the choice to go down the right path. And for that, I commend you.
Thank you very much.
Because until I see, I can't imagine, until I see someone, people don't understand, they have relationships with their parents, with their mothers, and we take it for granted until I see someone like that. Growing up and having her with this life as my mother, I can't imagine.
It's hard to.
And I can only imagine how you feel. I heard the voicemail and the things she said to you. I can only imagine how you feel being brought to court. And after all of this that you've been through, being sued by your mother, it is very clear to me the only thing she cares about is money.
That is all that she cares about.
As for your counterclaim, you know, the law is still the law, and it's clear to me that some of these things you've countersued for, it's probably just retaliation because she sued you. The pain and suffering I think you've been through can't be quantified by a dollar amount.
Okay.
But I am going to give you what you're asking for, sir, which is $1,000.
Thank you
Judgment
very much.
in your favor for $1,000, and I wish you the best. Good luck.
Today on Judge Faith. Was he fired unfairly?
Did he have a lot of satisfied customers?
He had quite a few satisfied
More
customers.
than other plumbers?
Very possibly, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I couldn't have been that bad after all, right?
Was he one of your top performers?
He was one of our top salesmen.
The top salesman.
But was he not a team player?
He caused strife with my other employees. He refused to do things my way. In fact, he blatantly said, I'm not gonna do it like that.
Like what?
Not.
What did I do that you
Sir,
didn't...
you're
I'm
kind of
sorry,
demonstrating
man.
what he's
I
saying right
apologize.
now. You do know that, right?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Stephen Douglas says his former boss deducted wages from his paycheck without cause and then fired him for no reason. He is suing for loss of wages. Defendant Michael Jordan claims the plaintiff was extremely hard to work with and wanted to run the show. He's countersuing for the value of stolen parts.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, in this case, we have Douglas versus Jordan.
Thank you, Barbara. Stephen Douglas.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing the defendant, Michael Jordan, for... for $550 for unpaid wages you say the defendant owes you.
That's right.
You are countersuing, sir, for $600 for theft of services.
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand, Mr. Douglas, that you used to work for Mr. Jordan and were terminated from your job with him.
That's
and
correct.
that's how this entire situation
Yes,
started.
ma'am.
So why don't you take me back to the very beginning and tell me how all of this started?
Okay. Back in June 2014 of this year, I had been looking for a job. I came across his ad on Craigslist. Said he was looking for a good plumber. I couldn't think of anybody better than myself, so I applied. And I was his best plumber for quite some time.
So that was in June of 2014. What
Yes,
was the
ma'am.
hiring process, sir?
We came in, he interviewed. We liked him. We knew that we might have a little firestorm on our hands, but we brought him on anyway.
What do you mean by you thought you might have a firestorm on your hands?
Well, Mr. Douglas has quite the personality. He's pretty full of himself. I like the confidence of him, but as long as it doesn't deter what he does, you know, in the company, he's pretty confident.
Tell me about your business. Do you have your own plumbing company, and how long have you had that business?
Yes, ma'am. I started in 1999. It's something that I've given my blood, sweat, and tears for. And, you know, my biggest issue with Stephen is, you know, him wanting to come in and make big changes and tell me basically how I'm going to run my business. It's just not going to happen.
Okay. How long have you been a plumber, sir?
About 15 years.
And did you have any special training and education to become a plumber?
What I specialize in majority is sales. I go into a person's house, they got a bad toilet. When I walk out, they've got a new water heater, new sinks, new tubs, new everything. That's my job. By me doing that, that's how he gets paid.
Was he good at his job?
He's very good at sales, and it takes a lot of confidence to be good at sales, which he's very good at.
And ask him how many satisfied customers called in and gave thumbs up.
Did he have a lot of satisfied customers?
He had quite a few satisfied customers.
More than other plumbers?
Very possibly, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I couldn't have been that bad after all, right?
Well, was he one of your top performers?
He was one of our top salesmen.
The top salesman.
But it takes a lot more than just being able to sell.
And
Right.
I've also got the
necess-
paychecks to back it up, too.
That doesn't mean that you're a good employee because
So
you
what
can sell
happened?
something to
You say he
someone.
wasn't a great employee in the end, and you had to fire him. Prior to this date where I know you went and you picked up your truck and you terminated him, what were some of the issues you say you had?
Every company meeting we had, it was constant back and forth, yelling, arguing, the guy refusing to do anything, follow policy. He refused to do things my way. In fact, he blatantly said, I'm not going to do it like that.
Like what? What did I do that you
Sir,
didn't?
you're
I'm
kind of
sorry,
demonstrating
man.
what he's
I
saying right
apologize.
now. You do know that, right?
I'm not gonna debate that I am argumentative, absolutely. But when I have a point that needs to be brought to the table and all the other employees want to shut their mouth because they don't want to say anything to the boss man, I'm gonna say it.
Okay, I understand
And
that.
I think by me making him as much money
But
as
let
I
me
did,
let me
I
let
have
me
that
explain
right.
something to you
Yes,
that
ma'am.
may work in, well, apparently didn't work so well
No,
in his
clearly.
company.
Right.
But it's certainly not going to work here.
Here, okay.
In my courtroom.
I understand.
All right.
I
So you
respect that.
speak when it's your opportunity
Yes, ma'am.
to. All right. So what were some of the other issues?
I got word that he had received a referral from a vendor. I believe they paid him approximately $800. That money is supposed to come through the company. I take 25% of it, and then I give the plumber the rest of it. So he would have gotten $600, but he wasn't going to say anything about it. He denied it, and then eventually came clean on it and admitted that he had lied and taken the money.
So let me ask you something. Did you understand that when you made a sale, the company would keep a percentage of that? Isn't that how they make
That's
their
not a
money
sale,
from
though.
sales?
That's a referral. That's a little bit different. Now, what I didn't know is that he took a percentage of that referral. Now, and when he came to me about it, yes, I told him no. However, I did pay him the money.
Okay, well, stop.
Yes.
Why did you lie then? If you thought that you were doing the right thing and you say you didn't know the rules, when he came to you and asked you about the money, why did you lie and say you didn't receive it?
Because I had my guard up. In all honesty, not every company requires you to give that money.
Coming up on Judge Faith, things get heated.
If he would come and do his job and do it the best of his ability and not complain about every little policy, then he would,
But complaining about a policy doesn't mean I'm not doing my job.
And only Judge Faith can solve this plumbing predicament.
As far as doing my job
What
is
he's
concerned,
saying, sir, is people want to like the people they work around. You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
You need to be a team player.
I understand.
And from everything I'm hearing from him, he's saying that you were not a team player.
Plaintiff Stephen Douglas is suing his former boss for wages that were deducted from his check. He says the defendant fired him for no reason. Defendant Michael Jordan is countersuing, claiming that the plaintiff stole parts from the workplace.
What happens next?
Well, I had alerted Mr. Douglas that that was his last chance, that basically everyone else wanted Mr. Douglas to go in the company, but I was going out on a limb for him because I like him and he can do good sales. It's kind of a shame that because he's able to sell well, he can make a lot of money for himself as well as his employer. He just can't keep his mouth shut long enough to do it well, long enough. If he would come and do his job and do it the best of his ability and not complain about every little policy, then he would,
But complaining about a policy doesn't mean I'm not doing my job. As far as doing my job
What
is
he's
concerned,
saying, sir, is people want to like the people they work around. You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
You need to be a team player.
I understand.
And from everything I'm hearing from him, he's saying that you were not a team player.
Well, it's
and so
not a
he was
team
willing
job.
to let you go, although he thought you were a great salesperson.
Right.
And listen, I can tell you're probably a great salesperson.
Yes, ma'am.
But he was willing to let you go because that wasn't worth keeping you around because of the other issues he had with your attitude.
Understand.
So you end up terminating him 3 months after you fire him. You're suing because you say that you did not get your last paycheck.
That's correct.
Okay, so why don't you tell me what happened?
Okay. I look out my window to see my truck drive off. Just drive off.
Is that the company truck?
Yes, ma'am.
So every plumber has a company truck?
Yes, ma'am.
They go home, they take their plumbing trucks home.
I see my truck drive off, my tools, mind you, I have thousands of tools in this truck. He drives around the street, parks in the middle of the street, and I asked him what's going on. He told me I was fired. I said, fine. I asked him if he could...
Really? That was your reaction? Fine.
Yeah, well, I knew it was coming anyways, because his under supervisor didn't like me. Just didn't like me. And he can't run the business because he's busy being drunk all the time. So,
ooh, wow.
There's that, it is what it is. It is what it is. But as I say, can I get my tools off the truck? He leaves it parked in the middle of the street. Now, my house is down a hill in Georgia, and to walk up the hill to bring tools down, we're talking thousands of tools. Carried them all down, took me about an hour and a half, and then he drove off. And then I get a note with a paycheck with $0 saying that your pay for your commission after taxes is $564.21. By the way, we're taking $564.21.
And what was the reason they gave you?
Well, the reason that he gave me was simply because this inventory sheet that he gave me, that I signed the day I got hired, he's saying that there are things missing.
From the truck?
Correct.
Because that's the
As far
inventory
as
sheet from the truck?
Correct.
Okay. Tell me what happened, sir.
So our manager goes and picks up the truck the day that we knew that we were letting him go. We take
Was
it
there
out.
a final straw? Something happened that day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, it was the Friday before. This was on a Monday. The Friday before, he was scheduled to work on Saturday morning. We have one technician working on Saturday. I get a text message in the middle of the night at 4:30 in the morning. I don't know what he was doing at 4:30 in the morning. Sounded to me like he was drunk himself and didn't want to come into work the next day.
Possibly.
His text message says, I'm not feeling well, not going to be into work. My phone is off. Basically, do not call me. I'm not doing anything for you tomorrow.
Did you send that message?
Indeed, I did. However...
No.
Hold on.
4:30 in the morning?
Right, and I'll tell you.
What time was he scheduled to be at work, sir?
At 7 a.m. in the
Hold
morning.
on, but what he's not telling you is 2 weeks prior to that, I had worked a shift for a guy so he could take off. Now, I had texted that guy and said, hey, dude, you owe me one. I'm not coming in tomorrow. Make it happen. And then I sent one to him. So
That's not true.
Did that guy end up covering for him?
That guy ended up covering for him, but he was not alerted. We had to personally ask him, and he did us a favor by coming in and covering for Stephen. But
So
it
when
is
you
not our
called him-
responsibility to find his replacement. It's his.
Next on Judge Faith, let go with no pay.
That was the last straw. We fired him the next following Monday.
But was he pirating parts?
He took several bins of parts. He's taking them out of the truck. Our service manager says, you know that if any of those parts are missing off of the truck, you know that you're going to end up paying for them.
Plaintiff Stephen Douglas is suing his former boss for wages that were deducted from his check. He says the defendant fired him for no reason. Defendant Michael Jordan is countersuing, claiming that the plaintiff stole parts from the workplace.
When you called that person, had he received a message from Mr.
Not
Douglas?
that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No, not that I'm aware of.
I sent it to him.
Go ahead, sir.
Our manager took the truck, parked it in the street so that he couldn't call the
I mean,
police.
you do realize you work for him. He doesn't work for you. You do realize that, right?
Well, here's the thing. If I don't get an hourly pay, I don't get an hourly pay.
Just stop.
So
Just
if I
stop.
don't go out and sell, he don't make no money either. He makes nothing. He actually spends money on gas and insurance and so forth. He needs me to go out and sell.
Okay, just stop. Go ahead, sir. So that was the last straw for you.
That was the last straw. We fired him the next following Monday.
Okay. So what happened? How did you fire him?
Well, our manager took the truck without him knowing out of the driveway, parked it in the middle of the street so he couldn't call the police claiming property, you know, that we were on his property. We didn't want to ask him to remove his tools from our truck on his property.
Okay.
So that he could say, get off of my property. He took his tools and he took bins, which the bins were mine, by the way. He took several bins of parts, the same parts that we deducted from his last check. He's taking them out of the truck. Our service manager says, you know that if any of those parts are missing off of the truck, you know that you're going to end up paying for them.
So the service manager is there with the truck, right?
Correct.
So when he tells him to take his tools, isn't the service manager watching everything he's removing from the truck?
Watching everything he's removing, including the parts that we deducted from his truck.
So you say
From his
that
check.
his deductions are for parts that he removed from the truck?
Yes.
Today on Judge Faith, these tenants go head-to-head with their landlord for pain and suffering due to living in a virtual bat cave.
The next morning, I wake up to my cat freaking out in the house, and there's a bat in my bedroom, flying everywhere. So, of course, my roommate and I, at the time, tried to capture the bat, in which it landed on me and scratched me. So I had to go. We ended up killing the bat.
How did you try to capture the bat?
We tried to just hit it with a tennis racket.
And later, this woman hired a photographer to make a model calendar. But he says not all the models were photo ready.
If you're gonna do a calendar, I don't know about the crowd, but if I'm gonna buy a calendar, I'm gonna buy a calendar with some pretty women in there. I saw a bunch of sea donkeys that she had up in this calendar.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Paul Crumry and Corey Smith lived in a home that turned out to be a nightmare for them. They are suing for a refund of the 3 months' rent they paid for substandard conditions. Landlord Woods Halley says he did his best to take care of his tenants, including hiring professionals to address their heating problem. He's countersuing for legal costs.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Smith Crumry versus Halley.
Thank you, Barbara. Corey Smith
Yes,
and Paul Crumry.
that's correct. Yes.
You were suing the defendant Woods, is it Hawley?
Halley.
Hallie, for $3,230 for retroactive rent abatement.
Yes.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $450 for legal costs?
That's right.
Okay, we'll start with you, Mr. Smith or Mr. Crumry, whoever wants to speak first. Why don't you give me some background and tell me what this case is about?
All right, so I moved into the unit the summer of 2013. I was looking for a place and found a promising home on Craigslist.
Did you sign a lease?
Yes, we did.
Do you have a
sign
copy
lease.
of that?
I do,
Was it a one-year lease?
Yep, it was a one-year lease. We have the 2 subletters and the original 2 roommates that I moved in with who moved out at the end of September, actually.
Okay, and the agreed-upon rent, monthly rent is how much?
$11.95.
Okay, and you all split that how many ways?
Some points 4 ways, and at other points 5 ways.
Got it. So you move in, and when do you first start noticing there might be a problem?
The landlord was doing repairs on the house one day and failed to close the window at the end of the day. So the next morning, I wake up and there's a bat in my bedroom, flying everywhere. So, of course, my roommate and I, at the time, tried to capture the bat, in which it landed on me and scratched me. So I had to go. We ended up killing the bat.
How did you try to capture the bat?
We tried to just hit it with a tennis racket. Just normal way you try to catch a bat. I, being a hippie, tried to throw like blankets over it and catch it, but failed to realize it would attack me. So we took the bat to the U of M campus and got it tested for rabies, which it tests positive, and both...
After you killed it?
After we killed it. So I had to be vaccinated for rabies the second time in my life. And yes, this isn't the first time I've contracted rabies.
So the bat did have rabies?
The bat did have rabies. And I didn't encounter any big issues until December of that year. That's when the cold started hitting, and that's what our major concern is about, is the fact that there was no heat in the unit, and it was insufficient.
And this is in Minnesota,
Yes.
where it gets 40 degrees below.
Yes.
Mr. Hallie, how was the house heated?
The 2 levels of the apartment, the 2nd and the 3rd floors, are heated differently. The top floor is heated by baseboard heaters, and the 2nd floor is heated by a furnace, which is in the basement.
Okay.
And I have these data from the gas company concerning
Barb, you wanna hand that to
the amount of gas that was used in the unit over this period, which was through 2014 winter. And the gas consumption, which is on the right here in the picture, is comparable to the preceding year, 2012 to 2013, but
Sir,
actually
let me ask you,
more.
what do you do for a living?
I teach physics.
I figured.
Yeah. And
Okay, because no one brings in a chart like this unless they teach physics or something's going on. Okay.
if you'd like to look at December, which is the month about which Corey is complaining, you can see
Class
that
is in session, everyone, in case you didn't know.
Coming up on Judge Faith, a dangerous bat and no heat weren't the only problems these tenants faced.
Not only are we cold, we have dirty clothes, we're freezing, our fire escape is terrible.
You see he's over there taking notes, right?
Oh,
He's
of
about to
course.
respond to everything.
Yes.
And later,
I agreed to do the photo shoot. I agreed to do the calendar. I also agreed to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
plaintiff Paul Crumry and Corey Smith are suing for a refund of rent after being forced to live in freezing temperatures. Landlord Woods Hallie says he did everything possible to fix the problems and wants reimbursement for legal advice.
How cold was the unit? Was the
Approximately 55 degrees. We do have a photo of a thermometer that we did place in the apartment.
We were huddled on the couch with the cat, 3 blankets, next to this one to survive.
All 5 roommates.
All 5 of us.
You can see in the photo, it's in the bottom right-hand corner. It reads 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Minneapolis law states that it has to be able to be heated above 68 degrees Fahrenheit at all times.
And did you make written complaints
Yes.
to the landlord?
I do have multiple email.
May I see those, please?
Yes.
When did you get the first message that there was an issue with the heat?
Well, I don't have the date, but it was in December. They began to indicate that there were problems with the heat in December. That's when I started contacting these professionals to look at the heating system, about which I'd never had complaints before.
Well,
And-
maybe the house is 100 years old. Maybe this is the year
from
that the
one year
furnace
to the
isn't working
next,
properly.
I mean, the preceding year, there were no complaints.
Right. Well, what
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, sir, at some
why-
point, perhaps the furnace isn't functioning properly. Clearly,
that's
there's
why
an issue, right?
That's why I had the furnace checked. and it was found to be functioning normally.
What do you think the issue is? Do you think they're making this up?
I didn't know. I had the furnace checked. They said it was working all right. Then I waited. Then there were further complaints. So I contacted, one other idea that I had was that perhaps the ducts were blocked. So I had a professional come.
And didn't find a problem?
Couldn't find any blockage at all.
I understand you have some more photos you want to show me.
We do have photos of the furnace, which you can tell is clearly dated. It looks like a robot from a 1920s movie.
What year is the furnace from, sir?
I don't know either. It was there. It was there when I bought the unit in the building in 1980. However, it is not the same. It's not 100 years. The heating unit is not 100 years old. It has been converted to gas at some point before 1980. It has a gas conversion burner in it. That's what it's called.
All right, I understand.
Yeah.
Tell me what this is.
This is our fire escape. It was rickety. When you stepped out on it, it wobbled.
I don't want to walk out on that when my house is burning. I'll jump out the window. That would kill me before I hit the ground.
I'd like to address that issue.
Hold on a second, sir. Hold on a second. I want to go through the rest of the photos.
We also have photos of our shower, which no matter how hard we cleaned it, continued to grow mold because there was no ventilation other than a window in the bathroom.
Okay, what is this?
The infamous washer and dryer.
Well,
wait a minute. May I comment on a couple of issues that were raised here?
I want them to tell me about the washer and dryer, and then I'll let you have the opportunity to respond about all three of these photos.
Okay. I put a load of clothes in there, totally ruined it, and I'd had a roommate of mine actually try to repair it herself. And
I tried to help her. It leaked all over our apartment.
yeah, it was just a big, hot mess. And so when we passed it off to the landlord, he basically told us that the warranty is gone. I can't help you. So not only are we cold, we have dirty clothes, we're freezing, our fire escape is terrible.
You see he's over there taking notes, right?
Oh,
He's
of
about to
course.
respond to everything.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Haley.
Okay.
Break it down.
The fire escape was not rickety.
Okay.
It wobbled when we stepped down on it.
Here's my issue. Listen, despite
Neither
all
did
of
the
that,
housing
the real
inspector.
issue here is the lack of heat in this unit during the winter months in Minnesota. I understand that you were trying to address the issue.
Yes, I was.
But the problem was not being addressed. What do you think was going on?
He just wouldn't provide anything for us. Like, he was trying to do this all by himself. He would come with his little toolbox and try to repair this whole house. Not once. I never once saw a contractor at the house.
No.
Never once did I see somebody. I saw one inspector.
This is
that
not
was
true.
it.
I've
The
submitted.
only contractor that we saw at the house was the one to clean the ducts.
I know you say that this was the first time you had a complaint about the heat. Based on the emails and the records I'm looking at, they're not making this up. There was clearly an issue with the heat, and it went unresolved, sir, for the entire winter that they were there. You obviously knew there was a problem because you were willing to settle. So here's my judgment in this case, based on all the testimony I've heard today and the proof the plaintiffs have submitted. I think they have proved, sir, that they did not have adequate heat during the winter months in Minnesota, which you are required to provide to them as their landlord. So I'm ordering you to pay the judgment they're asking for, $3,230. They're not suing you for all of the months they lived in that unit and were cold. My judgment in this case is for the plaintiffs, $3,230. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
Plaintiff Tammy Spade hired a photographer to produce a calendar of her models, but said nothing was ever produced. She is suing for the loss of potential sales and a refund. Defendant Patrick Jelk says he showed up at every photo shoot and was ready to deliver the calendar. But when the plaintiff failed to pay the final installment, he bowed out of the deal. He's countersuing for defamation of character.
Tammy Spade?
Yes.
You were suing the defendant, Patrick Jelks, for $1,000 for lost calendar sales you say he cost you?
Yes.
And you were countersuing, sir, for defamation of character?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll start with you, Ms. Spade. Let's start from the beginning. Tell me how you know Mr. Jelks.
I met Mr. Jelks on or about September 2013, and this was through one of my clients. I'm a hairstylist. I saw some of the photos that he did for her, and they were great. I liked his work and that I wanted him to do something for me because I was trying to brand myself and be a better stylist and get my name out there with various photos of my clients.
What kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a photographer, man.
What kind of photographs do you take?
Freelance, wedding, I do it all. I'm like a jack of all trades. I also DJ too.
And do you have your own business?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And he did an actually good job. I don't know on whose part, but it was a good job.
It was on my part.
Next on Judge Faith.
If you wanted her to pay you the remainder of the money,
Right.
why didn't you present a calendar to her and show her, say, this is the calendar, this is the completed product, and you do an exchange right then and there?
That's not how my business works.
Plaintiff Tammy Spates says she hired a photographer but never received the promised calendar. She wants a full refund of everything plus costs for lost sales. Defendant Patrick Jelk says the plaintiff would have gotten her calendar if she had just paid her bill.
What exactly were you looking for someone to do for you?
I was looking for a photographer to take photos of each person for 1 day of, or 1 month of the year.
So you wanted a calendar?
Yes.
And you wanted a different model to represent each month?
Each month.
And was this a hair calendar?
It was a hair calendar, but I was doing it kind of, I felt big, where they had scenes like for Thanksgiving, she had like a little set where she looked like she was eating. For 4th of July, we had a flag and she was kind of, her hair and, you know, it was 4th of July.
Okay, so you have a contract here. He would shoot the models and also create the calendar.
Yes.
All for $350.
Yes, he was supposed to do 12 models.
You agree with that?
Yes, ma'am,
He
I
did
do.
12 models, and he was also to commission to make 50 calendars along with this.
That's
He
not a
was
lot of
going to
money.
construct
Do you
them.
always come so cheaply?
No, ma'am. And
Okay.
I mean, that's a
That's a deal in Georgia?
That's a deal. That's
Okay.
a deal.
So you hire him, you pay him how much up front?
I gave him the $150 to start it all off, and everything was going pretty okay. Well, sometime in November...
Well, this is what I'm confused about. How many days, because, I mean, he shows up, he should be able to shoot this in 1 day,
In
right?
1 day, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
So what happened?
we could not complete it in 1 day
Why?
because
She didn't have the 12 models.
there wasn't commission for me to have 12 in 1 day. That was a lot, and I was doing it all. This was all me.
I don't recall that, Your Honor. This is what I'm saying. You grasping the concept. You're a smart lady. It doesn't take long to do a shoot. If you're gonna do a calendar, I don't know about the crowd, but if I'm gonna buy a calendar, I'm gonna buy a calendar with some pretty women in there. I saw a bunch of sea donkeys that she had up in this calendar.
Well, what does that have to do with you taking the photographs?
Oh, I'm saying, I took the pictures. I could have done all 12 of them.
So these are the people that she
Honor.
selected. Hold on a second.
Right.
These are the people that she selected, though. So the problem is not how the models look. You're saying
But
the
you
problem is she didn't have enough models.
That's right. She didn't have enough models. She had January, February, March. April might have been missing. You know, like, well, Miss April, you know, what's going on?
So what was going on?
Your Honor.
How many days? Let me ask you something, ma'am.
Yeah, you got.
Let me ask you something. How many different days did you expect him to show up to take
I
photographs for you?
expected him to come until it was completed, and he agreed upon it. He came every Sunday.
Did you agree to that?
I didn't agree to none of that.
He
I agreed to do the photo shoot. I agreed to do the calendar. I also agreed to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's back up for a second, though. Did you agree to show up on different days to shoot various models?
I agreed to show up on the day she told me to come, which was that first day.
And you assumed there would be 12 models
I assumed
there.
there were gonna be 12 models.
And how many models were there that day? Just 3?
It was 3.
So the agreement is you would pay $100 up front, but you paid $150.
I paid $100 up front, and then I gave him an additional
$150. So there's only $100 left.
Yes.
Now, what happened? So he takes all the photographs. Were you happy with the photos?
I was happy with the photos.
Okay, but he's
Very
supposed to
much so.
then produce calendars. Why didn't you give her the calendars?
I didn't get my full payment, my money. You're supposed to pay in full before you get your product.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, because she has the right to view the finished product. Did you show her the finished product?
She viewed it.
So you showed her the calendar, the completed calendar.
Oh, no, I didn't show her the completed calendar, but I showed her what was going to be on the calendar. All I had to do was put it on some
Right,
paper.
but if you wanted her to pay you the remainder of the money,
Right.
why didn't you present a calendar to her and show her, say, this is the calendar, this is the completed product, this is what I will give you, and you do an exchange right then and there?
That's not how my business works. When I do weddings, anything, they pay me up front.
What's your counterclaim about, sir? You're suing for $1,000 for defamation of character?
Yes, ma'am. See, I know some of the same people that she knows. And I had a little bird come tell me that she was talking a little trash about me behind my back.
Who told you that?
Huh?
If you're going to sue for defamation of character, you have to be specific.
Oh, I'll be
So when
specific.
you say, you don't have to tell me their name, but who told you something that was said?
One of the Sea Donkey models said that she was at the shop bashing me like, yeah, this is saying, oh, I'm never gonna do business with Pat again. He didn't give me my calendars. Said that I was not professional, I was not good. My photos were mediocre at best.
In order for you to prove defamation of character, you have to prove that the statements she said were false, first of all, and generally a person's opinion about you is not defamation. That's her opinion. If she doesn't think you're professional, that's her opinion. You didn't complete the calendars, that's obviously not false. So everything that you told me, the statements that you say she made, even if she denies making them, if they were true, if she actually made those statements, I don't find that it's defamation.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Now let me get to your claim, because you're suing for lost profits.
Yes.
Because he didn't complete the calendar sales. And you're saying you would have sold 50 calendars.
Yes.
And I don't know that. Do you have contracts from 50 people telling you that they would have bought these calendars at $20 a calendar? How are you going to prove to me that you would have sold 50 calendars?
I do not have contracts from 50 people that said that they would buy it at $20 each. What I do have is witness statements of the models that were in the shoot, because they were obligated to at least buy one for being in it. And of course, they were so excited. They'd never done anything. They're not models. So their family, you know, they were really excited to do it. And also, I have
Okay,
another...
I've heard enough. I don't need to see your witness statements. Here's what I'm going to do. I can't award you lost profits because you haven't proven to me that you had 50 people lined up to buy these calendars at $20 a calendar. However, clearly she lost some sales because she couldn't sell a single calendar because she didn't have it to sell. So I'm going to order you to pay her for the 10 models you say would have purchased calendars. I'm going to order you to pay her $200, $20 for each calendar for those 10 models. In addition, I'm going to order you to refund her the $250 she paid you, sir, because you did not complete the job. Judgment in this case for the plaintiff, $450. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.